Hey everybody, I hope that you are doing well. So listen, um, look on the screen. This caption reads, I work 50 hours a week and live in my car because I can't qualify for an apartment. Let's talk about that. I did, I stayed in my vehicle, well, for me it'd be half a day, and it made me think about people that are homeless. So I was in the SUV. Now, I must say before, of course, before I left the house, showered, brushing your teeth, morning routine, did all of that. All right, did all of that. Um, and so I said, okay, checking things out. Can go grab some breakfast. Okay, go ahead and get you some hot cakes, get that going. And then tether. So my friend's like, what do you I said, well, I'm using my phone to tether to the for the internet, and I have my laptop with me. Okay. And I have a charging device. So okay, I'm like, hey, not so bad. That morning I tethered it up, my internet. I was like, wow, this is great. And using my laptop in my vehicle, grab a bite to eat, use the facilities, bathroom at a restaurant or a grocery store. And you could actually work in your vehicle, you can get work done. Okay, some things you can get done. Then I said, oh, you know what? I'm going to go over here. You can go over here and go looking, if you want to go thrifting or go to the store or do a little shopping and go get some things like, need to get more water, get Gatorade. Hey, you can do all that and then bring it back to your car. Uh-oh. 6 hours in. 6 hours in, I thought, wow, it's expensive to be homeless because if you go and buy food, um, you don't have, unless you have a refrigerator in your vehicle, what do you do? It's expensive to be homeless because a lot of times you may find yourself eating out. That can add up. You can't do hot cakes at the Golden Arches every morning. Protein bars, fruit, things like that. Okay, you can use the bathroom. You can go to a grocery store. Um, they're open. You don't have to buy anything. You can just go and use the grocery store facilities. Yeah, but how you gonna shower? I thought it's challenging. You can change your clothes, but what about taking a shower? Forget a hot bath. Unless you go to a place like Love's where I think you can pay, truckers use that, you can pay to do that. It's okay and fine when you're driving around, but you keep on driving around, especially in this economy with the high gas prices, and you have your AC on. If it's hot, comfortable, you're going to have to even compromise on that to save money. Then the other part hit me after 6 hours. I thought about it. If you're sitting in a parking lot and you're around other people, here is the psychological aspect that I think many people, a lot of homeless people experience, but they don't really discuss. The psychological damage is that when you're sitting there and you're in that homeless facility, you're in that homeless space, you can see other people going home. Let's talk about that. You can clearly see other people going home. Here's the question: where are you going? You can see them get, and I thought about little things you take for granted. The ability to go to the grocery store and buy food and load them up in your vehicle and then drive home and put them in the fridge or in your cabinets, in your pantry. I thought about that. Little things taken for granted. The ability, and I said, wow, so this woman, she's got all her food, she's grocery shopping, and people taking their food home, refrigerator into their pantry. Little things you take for granted. When you're homeless, you can't do that. And I thought, heaven forbid something like this happens. That has a psychological effect on a person's mind, even just the ability to even buy groceries. The gas national average reported to be at $4.55. On the weekend, what are you going to do? Maybe find a movie theater to go to and watch, watch a movie and stay in there. What happens when the laptop is dead? Go to the library, charge the laptop up there. And then, in some libraries, you can't be there like all day at a computer, right? You've got like a time on that. I think some of them are timed. And so this is the psychological effect that homeless people face. Nobody really talks about. What if you want to take a nap? Some people have those blackout things. You see what this guy has, like something in the front. But what about all around? Who wants to be lying down in your SUV and then you look up somebody looking in on you? Mommy, who is that? Anybody. Think about it. What if you want to just lay down? Oh, and when you lay down, if it's hot, do you keep the vehicle going with the AC on? That's more gas that you're using up with the highest gas prices. Is that even affordable? Do you crack the window? And then if so, you just crack the window. How much air can you get in? Are you going to be comfortable? You're going to be all sweaty and you really can't sleep. Can find money for war, but we can't house our working class and poor. Can't educate the children, can't feed. The ones at the top don't care about us. MJ already told you in song, they don't really care about us. I said, this is something, it's really, And then you look up, you're seeing people, depends on where you're located, going to different restaurants. Yeah, they're going to different restaurants and they're, meeting each other and going to PF Chang's and all these old restaurant. Homeless can't afford that. You're gonna have to really watch the money. I kid you not, just sitting there, I thought, wow, the gasoline, the food. You're gonna have to get out and search. You can't just sit in the vehicle for hours. That's not comfortable for your legs. Little things people take for granted. The ability to drive and comfort with the AC on, or if it's cold where you are with the heat on. The ability to take a shower. What about doing your laundry? Have to go to a washateria. Fold it and put in where you can't bring everything with you. There's no seasonal. You got to take what's necessity. That's why some people have a storage. I didn't even do the whole day. Things you take for granted. You don't think homeless people live in their cars, look at other people going to the stores and grocery shopping and buying things and think, why can't that be me? Or I used to have that, that used to be me. You don't think that has an effect on them? That was just 6 hours for me. Just 6 hours. Just 6 hours. And it taught me so much. Maybe some of these politicians need to experience that. Maybe some of the landlords that gouge. This right here is this person's home. This is everything. Heaven forbid you have an accident. My friend just sold out the Tesla vehicle, which they weren't living in it, you understand? And it was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, really? Not just had maybe a year? So think about it. What if the vehicle is totaled out that you're living in and that's your home? Oh, what if the other driver doesn't have insurance and you don't either? That's when it gets worse. And in some insurance companies. If did you know, I found this out through a person who lived in their vehicle, that if you're living in your vehicle, something happens, the insurance can deny the claim because it's not set up for that. A man did that with his van, and he was living in it, trying to get to it to get his things out. And then he's like, yeah, once they realized that, they're like, oh, we're not going to cover it. What you mean not going to cover it? You've got that set up as housing. So there you go. There you go. Yeah, it's no joke. Imagine with children. That 6 hours taught me a lot. It actually humbled me. Yeah, it did. Taught me a whole lot. Taught me to be less critical. Why don't they do this? Why don't they do that? It's easier said than done. Again, I walked in those shoes for 6 hours. Thank God, knowing I had a home to come to. So, yeah, the psychological effects of being homeless. That's tough. Mm. And it is scary. Imagine at night. Imagine at night. Tell you, it really made me realize how, even at my age, I was naive. I thought, well, hey, got your computer here, my laptop. Go to a bathroom. Here's Publix. Then you got Walmart. Hey, you can go around and do a little shopping thing. You can go around and do this. You can go around and browse. Okay, back to the vehicle. Oh yeah, this is, I'm good. Yeah. What they say, yeah, about that. And a lot of people are living this right now, living a nightmare. Living a nightmare. So like I said, that it taught me a lot. You don't know what people go through. Have no idea in how they got there. So it's easy to say woulda, coulda, shoulda, or what they should have done was this, or what I would have done. You don't know until you're actually in it. And sometimes things happen in life. You don't know what people's prior experiences are. And they can't just, it could be so much going on, they just can't boom, activate, go active. They trying to keep it together. Trying to keep it together. So yeah, it taught me a lot. And I didn't last a full day. I hope that never happens to any of you. Anyway, let me know what y'all think about this. Thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share them out.